Hi everybody, it's Nikki from Spa Indulgences by Nikki and Nikki's Essentials. And today it is What's My EO? You have heard it all before, just like me, that hippies only use patchouli to cover up the dank weed they were smoking. Man, I wish I had some right now. Anyhow, beside the point, that they were using it to cover up some nasty BO and sweat and all that sorts of stuff. And that it might have been part of it, but there's so much more to it. If you've ever had the smell of patchouli in your nose, you know it's an extremely earthy, grounding smell. And the smell of patchouli for the hippie, the flower child, that it was a very significant olfactory symbol of being awake and getting out of the conventional thinking of the time. We all know that it's a plant, okay? It's an herb from the genus Pogostemon. It's bushy, and it actually is part of the mint family, like catnip, peppermint, spearmint, lemon balm, and those types of plants that we're very familiar with, and it's very hardy. If you've ever tried to take mint that you planted into the ground out of your garden and try to get rid of it, you know how hard that is, right? It's pretty impossible. Anyway, it gets about 2 to 3 feet tall, and it gets small, tiny little pale pink, white flowers. I've seen some in photographs with a darker red, a darker pink, right? And it comes from the tropical regions of Asia, such as Taiwan and Vietnam, China, it says Malaysia, and a few other places. So it likes those types of areas. And what does it smell like? Well, if you've ever smelled it yourself, you know that it can be very heavy, very pungent, very strong, very earthy, especially if it's a younger essential oil, if it was just bottled freshly. Like, I know I have a bottle of now patchouli essential oil, and it's very pungent. It must have been bottled quite freshly. As it ages, it gets sweeter, it gets mellow. It's not as in your face as it gets a little bit older. This has been used for centuries, not just in this past 40, 50 years to cover up the stench of marijuana on the bodies of the flower children, the hippies, the people at Woodstock. Okay? It's been used for a very long time. It is a very old herb, and it has very old uses. So perfumes, incense, insect repellents, and medicine. That stuff we'll get into in a little bit. How is it cultivated? As I mentioned before, it comes from the warm tropical climates in Asia, and it grows wild, but it has been farmed in the more recent years because of the growing popularity of the herb itself and the essential oil. It thrives in heat but dislikes direct sun. During the drought, when there's no rain, no water, nothing, they'll actually shrivel and wither and go dormant. They don't actually really die. I mean, I guess it depends on how long the drought's been, but they just go dormant. They wither, they get dry. But then once the rain starts coming, or once they start getting watered, if it was like, say, being farmed or in a pot or something, it revives and comes alive again pretty quickly after it tastes or feels the water. It's pretty incredible. More on how it's cultivated. As with most plants, especially in the mint family, the flowers grow on spikes. They're the small ones. They bloom in late fall, and from there, if you let them go to seed. But the seeds are so delicate and so easily crushed. It's really hard to use them in large commercial operations. That's pretty much left to smaller time folks like home gardeners and, the wild plants. What they do, however, is take cuttings, which is done regularly in commercial plant cultivation, hybridization. So what they do is they take off a branch of a plant that they really like the qualities of, and then they put it into rooting hormone, which is either powder or it is also found as a liquid. And then it's put into a pot of its own for it to grow roots. Now, how do they extract the essential oil? They don't do it from the seeds, which was actually a surprise to me because when there's seeds, it's usually extracted from that. But as a lot of plants of this type are, I know I've discussed it in the earlier What's My EO video, but they use the leaves and they use steam distillation. And this breaks down the cell walls and allows the steam to take or expel the essential oils, which are then taken up by the steam through the distillation device. And then as it cools, it goes down into a catching receptacle. So the great thing about this is that in the climate that it's in, it can be harvested throughout the year. The plant needs to remain alive to be able to harvest it since it's just the leaves. So you can just take off branches, pluck the leaves off, and the plant can still be alive. You just take the mature branches. Pretty great. I like it when that happens. So what they do is they dry the leaves, and then those leaves are exported for distillation. Now, there's a couple schools of thought on this. There are some who prefer the fresh is best method, where it is harvested and as soon as possible, the leaves are put into the distiller for processing. But then there is the other side of things. They say that fermentation, where they harvest the branches and they put them into bundles or bunches or bales, I guess, and they let them ferment before they're taken to the distiller. So why do you need to start using this essential oil, patchouli? It's pretty amazing. As I mentioned before, it has become one of the most popular, versatile, and sought after essential oil there is. It's easiest to extract, the plant is easy to grow, and so luckily the price can stay down. Pretty awesome. Big fan. First of all, patchouli, it plays really, really well with others. As mentioned, it is extremely versatile. Some of my favorite oils that it works really well with is bergamot, lavender, lemon, clary sage, and myrrh. Now, patchouli is also a really, really good deodorant. Hippies knew this too. Patchouli, when diluted with a carrier oil like the Young Living's V6 Enhanced Vegetable Oil Complex, which I'll link down below, of course. Yeah, this V6 stuff is amazing. It has olive oil, coconut oil. It's just a really great blend of skin-loving, nourishing oils that provide really nice glide, which makes a really good massage oil without being too slippery. Patchouli is really good at killing foot fungus. It has natural antifungal properties, as is, which inhibits the growth of fungus, which is what antifungal stuff does, fungicide. Anyway, due to this property, patchouli essential oil is fantastic at taking that stubborn athlete's foot down to a dull roar and hopefully eliminating it before it gets dangerously inhaled. Patchouli. Patchouli. Check this out. I know I hate the insect repellents. They smell bad, they're poisonous, and most of them just make me itch anyway. But patchouli makes a really, really great insect repellent. So add some patchouli essential oil drops to a spray bottle of water. So you can spray it around your home, you can spray it on your skin, you can spray it on your clothes. You can even use drops of patchouli essential oil in your laundry, in your wash, when the water's going. There's so much more to this wonderful thing. I'll put some links down below. All right, guys, that is the poop on the scoop. Hopefully keeping you in the loop about patchouli essential oil and other essential oils. I hope you found this helpful, useful, and if you did, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, please. Subscribe. I don't know where it is. I will have links, all of my personal links down below, including my shop and my blog, my Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all that good stuff down in the description box. I'll also have other links for you to check out about patchouli essential oil for your own research and knowledge, which I always recommend. I hope this video finds you well, and if you have any comments or questions about essential oils, or well, pretty much that, or ideas for future topics, videos, leave a comment down below. I will be reading them. I always read them. I try to reply to as many as I possibly can. I will talk to you all very soon. I'm probably going to go burn up and melt into the grass with my pale, pale glow-in-the-dark self. I don't know, there's so much sun, it's very scary. It went from I'm wearing socks to bed to I'm going to die in a matter of like 4 days. Thanks, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Anyway, I will talk to y'all very soon before I get way too goofy and scare y'all off for good. I think I'm going to go away now. I'll see y'all very soon. Bye, everyone.